I'm Tulika Gupta, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Adobe, and I'm here with Alex Kay, Senior Director for Acrobat. We have a great conversation for you today. Lightning fast document insights from Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant. We'll dive into new research from Pfeiffer, a report called Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant, transforming how knowledge workers interact with documents. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks, Tulika. I'm really excited to be here and talk through the report.
Likewise, we'll share report findings around AI Assistant and how it can radically improve knowledge work and the time savings that are gained through utilizing our generative AI capabilities. We'll specifically talk about how AI Assistant accelerates knowledge work, key lines of business for AI Assistant, and trust and security. And to start off our conversation today, let's take a quick look at some of the powerful capabilities in AI Assistant. As you can see, these capabilities are so exciting. Let's take a moment to talk about the report itself. Adobe commissioned this benchmark project independently executed by Pfeiffer Consulting. Experts analyzed and documented the efficiency and productivity gains that workers saw using AI Assistant and compared gains to executing document-related processing tasks in key lines of business without the help of AI. You can find the report in the resources. All right, let's dive in. Digital documents are such an important part of the modern workplace, but users report being overwhelmed. Understanding what's important and what's not becomes a challenge because people don't have time. What are some of the concerns you've heard from customers, Alex?
Yeah, so I think what we've seen a lot with knowledge workers is people are overwhelmed with the amount of information that comes to them. So getting access to information quickly, getting insights from content is really one of the critical needs that users have. All of this content being bombarded at me, I need to get those answers quickly. They need to be able to accelerate through the processes that help the user and help people distribute some of the learnings that they're finding and share those insights beyond. So it's consuming all of this information, getting those insights quickly, and then repurposing those to send them on somewhere else. So examples of this would be, I've taken all these market research reports. I want to share the findings out to everyone else. I want to digest what's in them, compile them, create a new version, send that out for email. So that's been some of the key blockers. I think one of the other things that we've seen with users is because of the sheer proliferation of AI tools, you want to make sure that you have the right capabilities in the right place and not keep context switching. I don't want to have to go somewhere else to get the insights that I need. So making sure that I have all of the power where I'm getting the work, where I'm doing the work is critical.
I can certainly relate to that, Alex. Let's talk more about bottlenecks. The report mentions that focus and concentration are the most important resources for knowledge workers. So what is getting in the way of that focus and concentration?
Well, really, when you think about focus and concentration, it's about time. You need to be able to have capacity to be able to spend time and go deep and not be overwhelmed by the task that you're trying to drive. So when you think about some of the processes that people are having to go through, what are the things that really eat into that time? Research is one. How do you find all of the right sources of information to be able to pull together all of the sources? How do you analyze all of that information, zero in on the pieces that are most important to you as a user that you can then repurpose? Then how do I structure all of these insights that I've gathered from this information into something that's useful and can be distributed further? And then finally, the production side of it. How do I create new versions of this content? How do I lay it out in a document? How do I get really crisp bulleted summaries? These are some of the things which take an inordinate amount of time and pull you away from that focus that you need to have in that space to really be able to do some of your best thinking.
That certainly resonates, Alex. The arrival of AI is profoundly transforming the way knowledge workers do their jobs as they resolve these pain points, these bottlenecks that are slowing down business. Alex, how does AI transform document related knowledge work?
Well, I think that AI has this potential to completely transform the way that we think about knowledge work. But really, we think about the role of AI in a lot of knowledge work tasks as broken up into three main areas: comprehension, creation, and collaboration. From the comprehension standpoint, you want to be able to find information quickly. So either as fact finding, so going within a document to find the right piece of information that you want, summarizing key content, analyzing text that exists there, the organization of information. There's a huge amount that goes into taking all of this content that you have across all of these different document types and being able to get to the understanding quickly. Then when we think about creation, like it's a very stressful moment when you have that blank page open and you have to create a new report. So AI has this opportunity to get you started, to get you up and running on the types of content that can be distributed and sent further. And then finally, when we think about, additionally, when we think about collaboration, like this is a huge opportunity to think about the role of AI in supporting not only just getting comments, but how does those comments translate into ways that your content could be further improved? Like have the AI start to provide you with suggestions on things that you should be doing next? I think this is what we really see as some of the key elements that AI can start to bring to knowledge work that we're super excited about. But you have to make sure that all of this is underpinned with a secure environment. Like your data that you're working on, this content that you're pulling from, is so important to your organization. We'll spend more time on that later, but that has to be this critical underpinning that accompanies the knowledge work.
Great. So let's take a look at a demo of AI Assistant in action.
Often, legal professionals need to understand the differences between multiple agreements or policies. In this example, I'd like to review the differences between three versions of a contract between Altura Technology and Bodea Inc., their customer. One is from 2018, the next one from 2021, and the newest version is 2024. AI Assistant for Acrobat can help. I'll add the contracts, and notice they are all Microsoft Word documents. The files you use with AI Assistant could be contracts, emails, meeting notes, and more. And Acrobat begins to analyze the content. Here we see three files, and that they are the DOC files. I could add more files here with the plus from any of my storage locations. The visible contract, the newest one, 2024, shows that the partner organization was Global Corp. Was this the same across all contracts? Let's ask AI Assistant. Do these contracts use the same partner? It looks like in the earlier contracts, 2018 and 2021, Bodea used Townsend International as their partner and moved to Global Corp in 2024. One of the products that Altura licenses is Tumblr. I'd like to know how the spend and pricing has changed over these contracts. AI Assistant finds the answer, but also formats the result as needed, a concise summary for an email, as a bulleted list, or as a table. Create a bulleted list summarizing the spend on each contract. AI Assistant creates the results as a list, one bullet for each contract, and identifies the spend. I can hover over the attribution, and it shows me a preview of the contract where I can find the result. And if I select it, Acrobat navigates to that document and where the information is mentioned. Great. Now I need to understand differences in terms and conditions across versions. Please find the differences in terms and conditions and format the response as a table. I'll expand this panel to see the tabular result. No differences in support or over deployment. And now I can select copy and paste this into a report or an email or a presentation. The output from AI Assistant helps me accelerate the process. This would have taken me or part of our legal staff quite a while to comb through each agreement, extract the information, and format it.
Pfeiffer researchers investigated 16 real-world workflow situations in 5 key lines of businesses to properly assess the impact of AI Assistant. On average, working with AI Assistant was about 4 times faster than working with traditional methods. And although AI Assistant is for most knowledge workers, there are clear benefits and productivity gains for the 5 distinct lines of businesses. These are HR, legal and compliance, marketing and communications, finance, and research and development. Alex, what are the knowledge workers doing with productivity gains like these?
I think that's the core question that we have to ask with any of this. When we see productivity improvements, those are only valuable to a business if you're able to apply that time to doing something else. So it's really critical when we think about these time-saving notions that we really look at, okay, now that person has that time back, what more can they accomplish and how does that help the business as overall? For example, in sales, if you're saving an hour a day by having AI Assistant analyze, create content for you and better prepare you for sales calls, and you multiply that over the days in a week or weeks in a month, and start to think about, with that time, how many more sales calls can I have? How many more customers can I engage with? How many more customers can I engage with? And ultimately, how much more revenue can I drive for my business? That's the real tangible business impact that we really wanted to highlight within this report. Within HR, if you're reviewing resumes, like, it's really time consuming to not only go through to identify the right candidates that you have, but then also provide those summaries to the hiring managers. If you're able to automate a lot of that work or accelerate the process to completing that work, think about the number of candidate conversations that you can have so you can really go that level deeper and what impact that then has on the talent that you're bringing into an organization. So the way that we think about AI Assistant overall is, although within each individual workflow is small productivity gains, those small productivity gains are accretive and add up to significant business impact when you start to think about what you can apply with all of that time that you've unlocked.
Those are some great examples. So let's take a closer look at legal. The FIFA report measured the time necessary to read a report from the Congressional Research Service and to compile a legal brief including key findings and case references cited in the document. Using traditional methods like reading and highlighting the relevant information, as well as structuring and writing the legal brief, took almost an hour. With the help of AI Assistant, creating the legal brief required only 15% of that time. And it took using the traditional methods, including double-checking the data and editing the brief using a word processor. So, as I said, those are huge savings. Alex, what are you seeing with legal and compliance teams?
Well, legal teams have been actually some of our early adopters. They are the department which by far and away have gravitated towards using AI Assistant because of these huge time savings that they could realize. Ultimately, when we look at legal teams, there's a lot that they're having to do, whether it's regarding discovery or due diligence or checking regulatory information. And the acceleration of all of those processes is what's of critical importance. Now, where it becomes even more pointed is when we think about customers, especially some of our smaller organizations within the SMB space, where you don't have the luxury of in-house legal representation or legal counsel. The ability to do this work quickly and effectively is a huge cost saving. It also supports the compliance that you have as an organization and has really tangible business impacts to a company's bottom line. Within larger organizations, legal can be a very expensive department. And so the ability for them to accelerate some of this manual work so they can focus on more of the high value actions, we see this benefit of legal teams across the board. So definitely within legal, this has been one of the first and earliest areas where we've seen huge impact on what AI Assistant can do.
Thanks, Alex. And with that, let's take a look at how fast contract comparison gets with AI Assistant.
One of the key elements to providing a solution to a customer or prospect is understanding their strategies and pain points. In this example, I'll demonstrate how sales can streamline their research in preparation for a meeting. I have my customer's annual report. It's about 100 pages. And I could start using the suggested questions from AI Assistant, or I could craft my own. However, to prepare for my meeting, I want to understand where their strategic drivers intersect with our products and services. Here's our sales guide, which contains details about our product and its value proposition. I'll add this file, and now I see both documents. Notice the annual report is a PDF And the sales guide is a Microsoft Word document. Acrobat allows you to include any type of file. I'll ask AI Assistant, what strategic drivers does Altura have that TechX for Enterprise could solve for? And AI Assistant identifies the strategic drivers mentioned. The structure of this summary is easy to understand and provides excellent insights, and I can begin to see themes: digital transformation, operational excellence, and more. Great. Now that I have a better understanding of their strategy, I'll ask AI Assistant, write me some discovery questions based on these strategic drivers. And the results help me understand their pain points and help set me on a path to be able to deliver a compelling solution aligned to their priorities and strategies. Now, I could easily add other documents like emails, planning docs, presentations to enhance the depth and precision of my research. So, on my way to the meeting, I received a text that there will be additional attendees in the session, and they want to include sustainability in the discussion. To quickly prepare, I'll just open Altura's annual report on my phone using Acrobat Mobile, and with a voice prompt, ask, what initiatives does Altura Technology have around sustainability? Similar to what we've seen in Acrobat, attributions are included, and I can review the answer in the context of the page. And now I'm prepared to meet with Altura Technology.
So let's turn our attention to sales teams for a moment. In the report, we see that the traditional time necessary to summarize a product brochure, creating a short presentation with key points, and summarize the findings in an email for clients came to about 46 minutes. With AI Assistant, the benchmarks included double-checking all the data, creating the bullet points for the presentation, composing the email, which were then edited and finalized manually. With AI Assistant, the complete workflow took under 12 minutes, which is another huge time savings. Again, let's talk about these significant time savings. Alex, what are you seeing for sales team, and how are they using the extra time?
Yeah, so I was in sales for almost as long as I've been in marketing, so this one feels really close and near and dear to my heart. And that time saving that you can have on the creation of content, and not just the creation of it, but making sure that that content really meets customers' expectation, because it's personalized, and you can have AI Assistant match up the insights that you have from the customer to the product capabilities that you have, really mean two things. Number one, I can spend more time with the customer, or I can also have a higher impact on those conversations that I'm having. As a salesperson, my goal was really to have as much drawn from the customer as I can in as little time as possible, because I know that my customer's time is valuable, and I want to be able to make sure that I have a really rich conversation. So AI Assistant on that creation of content is key. AI Assistant also helps me on the pre-sale side, being able to summarize so much around the customer's insights, whether it is their 10K reports, blogs they've written, or anything like that. So I can develop this really strong understanding of the customer. So I am well-versed, and I know that this conversation is going to be incredibly meaningful for my customer. So as a seller, I would look at this as having really those two major benefits: the time saving on the creation of content, but also I know I'm going to have much bigger impact, much better impact in the conversations I do have, which means I'm going to have a much greater chance of taking that sale to the next stage.
Thanks, Alex. And I love the examples given your past experience. I was also impressed by some of the HR benchmarks. So let's talk about that. An HR efficiency example in the report is replying to an email from a coworker who inquired about leave benefits provided by the company. This included highlighting and extracting the relevant information in the company's employee handbook and composing the email. Using AI Assistant, the whole sequence, including double-checking the data and final editing, could be completed in under 5 minutes compared to almost 20 minutes without the help of AI Assistant. So, Alex, you know the question that's coming. How are you seeing HR teams take advantage of the gain time?
This is another great example, and I think also it really speaks to the difference that AI assistant brings to the table versus traditional search methods. Because a lot of people will kind of think of if I have this document, can I not just Control F and find the source? But when you think about the detail within an employee handbook, the repetition of particular terms that you have within there means you can spend an inordinate amount of time looking for the information that you're trying to find. So really, from an HR team standpoint, you have this opportunity to very quickly and efficiently and accurately find the information within a large amount of document content and get to that insight quickly. I don't want to find the 700 references to benefits within my handbook. I want to find the ones that are specific to what I need. An AI system will help you find that quickly. The creation of those summaries, this comes up a lot. I've actually just been going through a similar situation here at Adobe, where we were trying to provide very bespoke insights into benefit packages for a future candidate. And we were able to create that content really quickly with the AI assistant to be able to accelerate that work through. So again, it's less time on the HR teams to be doing some of this manual creation and higher impact output that you're sending to the candidate. So we really believe that the benefit, again, is both cost saving as well as the impact that it's having on the output.
With that, let's watch another short demo to see what HR can do with AI Assistant.
Hi, I'm Steph, and I'm a talent recruiter at Adobe. Today, I'll be utilizing Acrobat AI Assistant to help me review some pre-selected resumes I've received for a software engineer role. AI Assistant supports multiple documents and formats, so I can add these PDF and Word resumes. These resumes are all formatted differently. Manually reading and finding key points can be quite time-consuming. AI Assistant can help me comb through all of them much faster. In seconds, it generates this easy-to-read summary that shows candidates' years of experience, specialization, and key skills. I can scan through the 9 candidates to get the sense of everyone's background. It's a great start. I can click on the attributions to verify the responses are reliably sourced from my documents. AI Assistant easily jumps to the specific point across the different documents, making it very easy to navigate. Next, I want to hone in on top candidates that fit my hiring criteria. I'll add the job description and have AI Assistant match the top 5 resumes against it. In seconds, AI Assistant lists out the candidates with the most relevant experience. It highlights their key experiences and skills. It's easy to copy this information into an email I'm putting together for the hiring manager. Lastly, I can have AI Assistant help me sort candidates based on location, because that's another key consideration for the hiring manager. I get this easy-to-read list of where all the candidates are based. Some candidates did not add their location, but AI Assistant can pull their most recent work location instead. We're getting more and more resumes these days. Keeping up with reviewing and recommending talent is getting harder. AI Assistant helps me save hours in a week and makes me much more efficient.
AI Assistant is so versatile. It can work for both general workers and experts. Regardless of how much experience you have or how long you've been working at a company, AI Assistant can help you do your job. In one benchmark, Pfeiffer produced a blog post using AI Assistant in under 20 minutes, compared to almost an hour and a half with traditional methods. What are some examples of how different users are using AI Assistant, Alex?
So I think, again, it was really good to comment on those two types of users that we have. Those people who are really in having to digest a ton of content and create it, and those people for whom this is a bit more occasional. And I think what we see with those occasional users that have maybe more limited experience in using Acrobat is they can really get the key information extracted from documents quickly. So examples would be, I work in product marketing. I want to understand things that are happening within the market. I'll have a ton of market research reports. I rarely get the time to go through those in any great depth, but I can use AI Assistant to get me the insights to understand whether maybe this one research report is something I should spend more time on and understand at a much deeper level. On the specialist user side, they can really leverage AI Assistant for tasks that are much more high value in nature. So specific data points, performing comparisons, compiling new content together to create new sources. You mentioned blog posts. It's another great example. Like everyone is an influencer at heart, but often doesn't have the time to want to put that content out there. You let AI Assistant help get you started on creating some of this really rich content. So when it's occasional use, I think we see that broad consumption use case, get me insights quickly. For more specialized users, it really becomes the output, like the new content that I'm creating. I can do that at scale, and I can do it at higher impact as well.
That makes complete sense. Thank you, Alex. So with all that, we need a moment to talk about security. I know this is a topic you're passionate about.
Yes.
What happens to a customer's data when they upload documents?
Well, as you mentioned, this is something that we're really passionate about, because one thing that we understand is that most companies' most important information, whether it's IP or contract, live within documents. So we need to be incredibly sensitive to how AI leverages the data that lives within those documents. So for us, we built AI Assistant on with that knowledge that we were going to be handling some of an organization's most sensitive data. So the first thing that we mentioned is all data is encrypted when it's processed. So from the moment that you instigate a prompt with an AI Assistant and there's a data flow that happens on the AI Assistant analyzing it, that is all encrypted end to end. And we only store things on a temporary basis as the document's getting processed, and everything is destroyed afterwards within a 12-hour period. So that is really important for customers to understand, because that way they understand that their data is going to remain their data. We also have ethics as a core foundation with everything that we're doing. And the Adobe ethics board that we have and the rules that we have in place ensure that we're not introducing harmful or biased content in our responses, and everything goes through a review process to make sure that the output that you're getting meets expectations. So ultimately, I would kind of think about AI Assistant as taking this kind of secure approach to handling data, so that we understand that your data remains your data. Nothing is stored. There's no training of the large language models on the background with the prompt or document data, so that you can feel confident that the introduction of AI Assistant into your environment doesn't introduce any new risk, but maintains the security that you want to have with your very important content.
Great. Thanks for sharing that, Alex. And I know Adobe really thinks about the multi-layer protection approach as well. So I think another thing that I would love for you to share with our audience is just what can they look forward to? What's coming up next for AI Assistant?
Well, I think this is just the beginning. Like, we are so excited for the roadmap for AI Assistant. As I mentioned, we came out with really strong value on the comprehension side. And started introducing the value of creating new content with AI Assistant. I think you're going to see even more value come to that when you can introduce imagery within documents. So I think that's going to be really powerful. I think you're going to see the collaboration experience get even richer. So for us, this is just the beginning of a journey where we believe that knowledge workers across every single functional area are going to see value in taking a large number of documents, regardless of their file format, and being able to turn those into something unique and new that has their perspective on it. But more importantly than anything else, get those rich insights that exist across all of this content and make it highly leverageable.
Thanks, Alex. I think with that, it is a wrap. Today, we explored the new FIFA report and learned about how Acrobat AI Assistant accelerates knowledge work, key lines of business for AI Assistant, and trust and security. Thanks so much for chatting with us, Alex.
This was a pleasure. So excited to see the reaction that people have had with AI Assistant, and excited to continue to share more.
If you have further questions or would like to see a custom demo built for your use case, click the Please Contact Me button in the console, and an Adobe sales team member will be in touch. We can answer your questions about functions or subscription plans, and even walk you through a demo tailored to your document workflow needs. You will find links to tutorials, user guides, and other helpful resources related to our webinar in the resources. So feel free to click through and continue learning about today's topic. Thanks again for your time, and have a great day.